What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio here in Matawan, New Jersey, broadcasting you, giving all you the breaking news, the hot takes, the chop it up segments have you from the Cabinet Creation Sports Desk. This got extra use last night. I hope you guys enjoyed the Chop Sports Fight Factory that and down goes phone premiered last night at what was it, 7 o'clock? It was myself, Gooch, Wrestling Rob, and Tommy D. But today, as always, you want to get your phone?
So far.
I mean, it's very far at this point. Today, it is. You threw me off. It's okay. I'm in
peril, bro.
What? Dude, we were
I'm
fine.
out of breath. Honestly,
That's just because you just
3
did
hours ago. And
30 push-ups behind the desk for no reason whatsoever.
No, there's a reason. It's definitely a reason.
It's like a psyche?
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever the case. Sturch and Gooch are back again. And, of course, Dina producing. And, of course, Wrestling Rob in the house. Big loaded show today because there's literally no news out there right now. There is a couple things. We'll get to that in a second. Checking in with the chat. Good morning to Chris Payne. Good morning to Bailey. Good morning to everybody that's checking in, watching us right now as we head into a Wednesday.
What's going on, Stimmy?
Stimmy's in there. Michael Fusco in the building. I think his son's team is 2-0, by the way, in high school baseball.
Nice.
So his team's rocking and rolling right now. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, so if you want to chop, if you want to support Chop Sports, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. $3, $5, $10 increments on way to support us in a monetary way. Speaking of monetary way, because Chris Payne is hustling this morning like a madman, he texted me saying, I got you this many subs, and they're delivering, and we're at 940.
We are
960.
We
Sorry,
are 40
shit.
away. 40 subs away, ladies and gentlemen. So,
and Bailey coming in with got a subscription out of his apprentice school. So the word is spreading. We're spreading like the plague. We appreciate you guys. We're at 960, 40 more people away from getting that $1.80 check in the mail from YouTube. So
monthly.
So don't worry, guys. Listen, once we get to that goal, the content will start cranking out more and more shows, more features, all that shit. We're going to be working on all that, and we're very excited because we're right there. We can feel it. It's right in our grasp. And it's just crazy because, like, when we first started this whole shenanigans, when we got that first, 5th, 10th subscriber, I was beaming. I was happy.
We actually jumped out of the gate with like 80 on day one. We did.
Yes,
did good
that was what, last March, right?
But then it stopped. We didn't get another one.
We didn't touch
for 8 months.
Right,
so
we didn't.
It's like basically we got 80 in one day and then 0 in 8 months.
We did not touch the YouTube for a little while until we went daily show, and then we said, you know what, let's get ready for this, and then the rest is history. With a lot of helping support from everybody that's
shout
involved.
Out to the original OG people in the Chop Sports Daily community that were once watching on Facebook. Like if you were a person that once watched on Facebook, then you've been with us since like literally the very beginning. So
Dina did it by like requirement. Like we're just like, you got to watch no matter if you're actually watching or not. You just have to watch. We tell a lot of people that.
One more thing.
As a fan before I was even your guys'
She
friend.
was.
So
this is true.
Also, Mount Olive Lacrosse.
Yes, I put that on there. Shout out to those girls. That is the Palumbo family because, you know, that reaches very, very deep. Whatchamacallit? Oh, man, I'm just Joe.
Sponsoring lacrosse.
Joe, Susan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We are sponsoring the lacrosse team. Our sign went up there yesterday. Very cool to see in a very, very big stadium-like atmosphere. So that's pretty dope. And, of course, right off that stemmed from other people saying, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this. Just hit us up. You know, we're trying to spread the good word of Chop Sports. We actually locked in officially today, right? You got that confirmation. Everything's good for the barbecue.
Oh, I thought you were about to tell me we got another sponsor or something.
No,
not
yet.
Breaking news on the show. Yes, we
Not
officially
yet.
did lock down the day. I guess talking to you, especially Ash, we do not have to worry about calling any more people, no more emails. We have the day. It's all secured.
So now what we're going to be doing is more than likely not only planning the day, and that's the Chop Sports BBQ, which goes down June 26th, 2022 from Merrill Park, which is technically Woodbridge, Colonia. What are we considering that? Avenel? Like,
it's like Colonia Island border.
Okay.
I guess it depends.
Chain O Hills Road. That's
yeah.
That's all I know.
Chain O Hills.
Chain O Hills. But anyway, we're going to be doing pretty much a company barbecue. So if you want to come out, come support Chop Sports. We're going to be reaching out to local businesses to see if they want to sponsor some food. And, we'll have some music, entertainment, dodgeball, kickball, everything that Gooch has dreamed of since we started this company.
I don't know if we're going to be able to do dodgeball there. because there's no.
I mean, when there's a field, you can just do dodgeball.
Dodgeball is tough in an open field. You have to have people like tennis ball
Just
people.
bring cones.
You know how they
There
have
were
in
cones.
tennis, they have people that fetch the balls, there's the ball boys or whatever. In dodgeball, you have to have a line of them behind, because if I got a cannon, dude.
Oh,
So
of course
if I
you do.
throw-
Of course
if I
you
throw
do.
a dodgeball, it's
Of course you got a
80
cannon.
yards if I don't hit somebody, which will be very rare in itself. But another story. Dodgeball, you need
If
a
one
gym.
sails, it's gonna sail.
You need a gym for dodgeball. It's tough to do on the field.
Which we've talked to Bobby Tominski, right? A little bit, like briefly.
Yes, Ash has been in contact with Bobby, and
Another Woodbridge legend.
he's got to run it up the food chain a little bit. But
Yeah, let's do
hopefully by the end of this month, which I guess that's actually not possible because it is the end of this month.
It's literally
Maybe in a
April,
week or so,
the
we'll
end of
have
this
some more
week.
details on the dodgeball tournament. We're trying to do it for a charity. We haven't really come up with a charity, but I think what we've ended up deciding on, correct? If I'm not mistaken,
This sounds like it's going to be an executive decision coming from Gooch and Gooch only. But go ahead.
we're going to try and do it for a scholarship fund. So
Yes.
we're going to try and
Nice.
raise money for a Woodbridge Township student athlete to go, continue and further their education.
Can we call it the Chop Sports Fund?
the Chop Sports Scholarship Fund, or the
Chop
That's
Sports
a good
Scholarship
idea.
Fund. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. Let's
So,
do it.
I'm not sure.
Done.
We might have to set up a nonprofit.
Whatever.
something like
Whatever
that.
it
So
takes,
we'll
we'll
see.
do it.
It'll help secure a venue, though.
Yes. So that's awesome. Can't wait for that. Also, if you guys are in the area this Saturday, Jimmy Palumbo will be going live at the Avenel Performing Arts Center. He's already going live on Friday night, which is sold out to capacity. Again, he just hit me up about 5 minutes ago, asking me if I wanted to go to 101.5. I was like, well, appreciate the heads up. Like I can't just get up and go, but maybe I can. Well, I'll figure it out. He'll be on 101.5 New Jersey, 101.5 tonight to promote the show with Steve Trevelise. Okay. So he's had him on the show a couple times. And I think it'll be a great time and a great way to promote his show. So I'm excited to see Jimmy's show. Even if I have to scalp a ticket, I'll go on StubHub maybe on Friday and see what the value is. Third market, it's a hot ticket. So, but if you definitely want to go check him out on Saturday night. He's still selling tickets for that as well. So first and foremost, yesterday, I can't wait. Let's go back to the comments real quick.
I got two updates that I just received.
Okay. Sorry.
Lamar Jackson denies all trade rumors. I did see rumblings yesterday.
I didn't see one rumor of him getting
that
traded.
amid contract negotiations, I guess it was an article pretty much coming out and saying he was denying things, but I never really heard the rumblings until he denied it. So I guess he heard the rumblings, and there might have been some Baltimore people talking that Lamar wanted out. Lamar is clearing all that bullshit up and saying he is in fact all in with the Ravens, and I don't know why he wouldn't be. They're going to pay him.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's his
So
own.
that's more of a non-story, but just an update.
He's his own agent, really. So
he is. No, he is his own agent. Yeah.
So
and then Michael Porter Jr. suffers a setback, which is definitely crushing because the Nuggets, if they had a chance to make a push out west, they needed their guys to get back, and Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are still not ready.
a couple people in the comments ask.
Trying to show you Fusco's comment about the car show.
Listen, I'm all for a car show. I think that's badass. I think that would be a really cool event too to get a part of. I do want to bring up the draft party. We haven't discussed what we're going to be doing. Last year was obviously almost a coming out of sorts for Chop Sports because it was like 3 months into our business. But now that we're more established and more, kind of got our bearings, the draft party will more than likely be at a bar of our choosing, but also we're more than likely not going to be on the mic this time around.
I have no interest.
I kind of want to just enjoy the party.
I want to just see who the Packers are going to pick with their 2 picks, and it's
we'll
going to
probably
be a long night.
I will say this. Regardless, we'll probably have somebody there filming just random stuff here and there for content purposes.
And we'll do some giveaways. Maybe we'll buy a couple jerseys and things like that, and we'll sort it all out.
Yeah. So draft party will be going down on draft night. MJ's. Yeah. Well, that's another story.
They might be like, well, we don't need you. We'll talk about that off air, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, appreciate you guys checking in to the show. As far as the news goes, I know we've been very heavy on basketball lately, and the tournament's happening, so rightfully so. It's not like we're just doing this just for
this
shits.
Is the NBA's time right now. This is the final 10 games of the season. This is when I start really caring about the NBA. It's hard.
I think that's most casual fans.
They're posturing to see who's going to have a chance at this point. The teams are sorted out. Even the back ends of both conferences, the Lakers aren't even in the play-in game right now.
I mean,
if I'm
that's
not mistaken.
scary.
Is that right, Rob?
Yep, they
That
just
is
played
right.
their way out of it last night.
So the Lakers are
incredible.
now a non-playoff team. LeBron's only hope at
So they're not even in the
face
playoff
this year is
game.
to win the scoring title. LeBron does have a firm handle on that, I would imagine. He's been scoring like 40 a night.
Oh, and I did hear this yesterday on the radio that if LeBron, if they foresee themselves not being a playoff team, LeBron could literally he qualifies and he meets the criteria where he could just not play and his scoring title will be intact. Almost like a Reyes. Remember when Reyes had the batting title and he just didn't play because God forbid he popped out twice, he would lose the batting title. I think that if LeBron stops playing now because he's hurt, right? So if he stops playing for the rest of the season and shuts it down, he can win the scoring title by default. How much garbage is that?
I mean, it would be garbage if he did it. You're saying that he can do it. That's just a fact. Him doing it, well, that remains to be seen. I think he'll play.
He needs to average I think it's 24 a game, and then he can pass. He'll be number one within 55 to 70 games. So they're saying next year for sure if he continues to keep scoring like he is. That's why I think you're seeing LeBron now 40, 50 all the time now. He's a member of
the New York Knicks. Is that what you're saying?
Oh my God, he would do something like that.
Watch and learn.
This is an interesting take from Rue, who I know is a big NBA guy.
Huge
He's
NBA
saying
guy.
that he actually despises the last 2 weeks of the regular season. I guess I'm curious to know the logic in that. I like it because we have this tight race up in the East right now.
Right.
And you get to see, you don't know who's going to play who yet, and it's sorting it out. There's a couple teams that are making a push. I'm not really sure about the back end of the standings in each, and I'm very, very unsure about how this whole playing.
I do know the Knicks would make the playoffs in the West.
So to my understanding,
they would.
The 7 plays the 8, and the loser plays the 9.
The loser plays the winner of the 9-10.
So there is 10. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I learn this every third day on the show, and I find it blows my mind every single time when I'm like, it's 10.
Yeah, 10. I mean, and no, that's one side, Gooch.
No, I know.
And then there's another side. So that's 20 out of 30. 20 out of 30 make the playoffs, or at least have a shot to play. Give me a break, dude. Oh my goodness.
I second that.
Oh, I think you should ban any mention of LeBron on your show. I know he's a great player in this, but he's just overrated in my opinion.
I'll never ban LeBron.
I mean, we did that last year. We did that last year from the Chop Sports Facebook group. We did LeBron. LeBron banned.
LeBron is not overrated.
It's not overrated.
Let's not have
it's
this
just
debate right
I'm
now.
not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, the playing games last year were
I
effing
understand
dope.
the entertainment value in the game itself. Yeah, the Warriors. We got LeBron and Steph last year. They're playing. That's the one.
This year they're going to make an exception.
I'm sure there were other great games as well, but it's just it waters it down a lot.
Oh, he thinks there's a lot of tanking involved. Is Rube's coming back in saying a lot of tanking because of the lottery? You're not going to make the playoffs. If you're one of the 10 teams that don't make the playoffs, you get to be in the lottery.
Shout out to the Knicks
And
for not.
of course,
tanking.
this is when the Knicks decide to start winning.
Right. You're right. Tina makes a good point. We just sit there, we're watching the Knicks struggle throughout the entire season, and then last couple games they've looked like gangbusters, and all of a sudden they couldn't make the playoffs if they played in the West. It's just annoying. It's very annoying that the Knicks are doing this now to us. But what a way to go, right? I mean, look, if we're gonna go out the season, go out with a bang, win the lottery, and then get yourself whoever the fuck you want to get. Get Doug from St. Peter's. Go get him. Why not? Anyway, Randall has a new podcast. Jimmy Palumbo coming in saying Julius. Yeah, that's a full sentence. So that's Jimmy's learning. But yeah, so can you imagine if they made an exception this year for LeBron? I know it's usually 10, but we're gonna try to let 12 seeds in this year.
Well, I think that's what
just so LeBron can make the playoffs.
That's what they're doing anyways. The back end of LeBron's career, they're like, we're going to keep this man in the playoffs at all costs, and it's still not working. And I'm a big LeBron fan, so I'm not bashing him. I'm just calling it like it is. The Lakers are abysmal right now.
Correct, sir. All right. So last night there was some news in the NFL, or yesterday, in a 29-3 vote. 29 teams decided this is a good idea, and that's the overtime rules that are going to be changing in the NFL in the upcoming season. Now, according to what I've read all morning, because I was like, I can't decipher what the actual rule is, and I don't think they know either yet. They just know that both teams will be able to get the ball.
It's not fully gone through. It went through. It's happening.
It's happening.
But they still have to amend the rule, and they said that in the thing. It's kind of open-ended. They just know that the guarantee is both teams are going to get a possession regardless.
I do
How
like
they're going to end it remains to be seen, because if they tie again, then are they going to force a 2-point conversion? Are they going to force a 2-point conversion on the first one and then force one on the second one?
It's garbage.
I mean, Why?
No, what I think they should do is if the first team scores, they're allowed to kick an extra point. But in order for the other team to even compete, they have to go for 2 if they score a touchdown on their first possession back.
Either way, whatever the rules might be or might not be, I don't want to get into that. We've done that before. It's official that they're going to both get a possession. The rest of it still needs to be amended, to my understanding.
This is just a reaction rule, man. This is just the world collapsing because the Bills didn't have a chance to win.
I mean, when you have 29 out of 32, it is a reaction.
Yeah, because they're putting themselves in that situation.
It's never been put into place, but sometimes instant replay was put into play. It was done early, and then they stopped it. But instant replay has definitely been a success overall. You wouldn't agree?
What?
That instant replay is needed. It's definitely been a success.
Instant replay as a whole.
Yeah,
not like
there was a time.
penalties.
There was a time in the mid 90s, as late as the mid 90s, where instant replay wasn't there. Jerry Rice fumbled. T.O. caught it over the middle in the Packers playoff game, and I'm not bringing that up because I don't think the Packers were going to go on to win the Super Bowl that year anyway.
Right,
but it takes an egregious error and everybody to get to see it to be like, look, this needs to be fixed. I don't think it needed to be fixed, but I also have completely no issue with the new one. It's just like, okay,
pops really good.
I take it as it comes when it comes to things like this.
That pops really good off the chat. Like you put a little white outline. I don't know. I just stared at that for a second.
Dave's looking at my tit.
I'm looking at his breastises. But anyway, so I agree with that. But the only thing instant replay, yes, needed it, right? But like the amendment that they just did, like all scoring plays are now under review. Good. Because if you're down to no challenges and with 5 minutes to go in the game and there's a crazy, crazy call, that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Do not bring back penalty reviews because that was awful. When I say awful, that was the worst thing they could have done. And look, and why did they do that, Gooch? Why did they put that replay in? Because of a bad no call, because of a reaction based off that miracle in Minnesota. That's the only reason why they did that. They did it for a year. They realized it sucked. They got rid of it. So now they're going to do.
That was I think it was the Rams and the Saints, no?
Oh, that's what I meant. But it was involved in the Saints. Sorry.
Same season, maybe.
Yes. Maybe. I don't, whatever. But you know what I was getting at. So I said the wrong right.
The crazy pass interference no call.
Yeah.
And they were right to try and fix that. It was just the wrong way to do it. Fire the ref. I guess they might have, but
I don't understand why the NFL just doesn't do like kind of what the NBA does, where they go to the screen and then they talk to somebody from New York or from the office. No, it should be done like that.
They
do that, but the NBA is way too much.
What the NFL needs to implement more of. Things don't need to take forever.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I'm pretty much looking at it. Some plays maybe, but for the most part, it's like you could tell right away, right? You could just talk. I could talk to you. I'm talking to them right now in real time. So NFL, figure it out. Have someone in New York watching every game from all angles.
So they do it in hockey.
That's what I mean.
You see it happen a lot when they do like these. The coach doesn't have to challenge it. It comes from somewhere. I don't think I even know where it comes from. It has to come from New York because somebody from somewhere is telling them and they just automatically fix whatever they did wrong.
Immediately.
Real fast. Immediately.
That's
with
New
no
York.
challenge,
Yes.
no coach's challenge, no nothing like that. It's just done.
Correct.
They need to do that more. Where if it's like a flag, it's be like, oh shit, we didn't see this, but that was fucking bad. And call it.
You need like an eye in the sky almost. You know
Why
what I mean?
don't they do that? The XFL was doing that and it worked.
XFL was responsible for the overhead cam, by the way.
We've talked about this as well, where it lends to are we just going to do away with officials altogether on the field? And I don't think we need to do away with officials.
You need human error. It does, it does work that way. You all right?
Yeah, I'm processing what I think a good fix would be. Maybe
Bro, I literally thought you were stroking out for a second.
Too,
you just stopped talking dead.
I thought he was getting interrupted or something.
Right, and I was like, well, nobody's talking.
Oh,
that was some scary shit.
No,
my heart skipped a beat.
That was like when Ant stood up in the room.
My goodness.
Right,
like a ghost was
I'm
in
thinking
the TV or something.
Body cams for the refs.
No, what
that would be actually that would
just
be
for entertainment
content.
value. Just for entertainment value.
Yeah, Jimmy coming in saying it's no human error. It's all about gambling.
But if you put,
it's scary. It's scary how that world is going.
As I was processing what you might be able to do, it's just instead of having the refs on the field call all the plays, or call all the penalties, you just have humans do it. Just do it from up top on video. You just put cameras on every single spot, and you have a ref watching.
Who said this? Kyle said what?
I mean, you guys kind of deciphered it as robot refs, but that's what he was saying. the cameras have people in like a control room making those calls.
Yeah. I think that's probably the way to do it. I mean, if you want to do it that way, but again, crazy times in the NFL, of course.
Overtime though. So about overtime.
So yeah, overtime. That's originally what we're talking about. The fact that both teams get the ball, it went 29-3. So 3 coaches or 3 teams decided to vote against it. I want to assume one of them was Pittsburgh because I believe Tomlin went on record and said, I believe in sudden death, and I want that to be the end of the game. So that could be one of them. But it doesn't matter.
The other one is Andy Reid.
The other one is the Chiefs, who just won this way. So that's very funny. But yeah, I don't know. The whole let's everybody, like, they're always preaching player safety, right? I mean, that's like their big thing that they always hammer down on. But like player safety, right? Now you're adding they added a 17th game. So right away, you're giving another opportunity for these guys to get rocked around, right? Now, with this everybody gets the ball rule, then this can happen back and forth and back. And all of a sudden, the NFL players are essentially playing another quarter of football. Well, that's not good for safety.
They simply don't give a fuck about players.
That's what I'm saying.
So, like, it's all nothing
bullshit
that they do lends to that fact. The only time that they ever do anything that goes that direction is when there's litigation process happening and they're about to be sued, or someone's got a gun to someone's head. That's the only time. The NFL clearly only cares about the bottom line. And that's
without question. I just, like I said, man, I think that this was a reaction thing. They saw what happened to the Bills and they're like, wow, this can't happen again, you know? And I'm just like, yes, it can, because it has. The Bills aren't the first victim of this. You know what I mean? Like, it just so happened that it was in a big game and the Bills season was ended. That's why it's so like, oh, we got to fix this now before we go on to another season. You don't. It wasn't broke. Don't fix it. That's all I'm saying.
Any other rule changes?
From what I heard, there was just some tampering stuff within the front offices and shit. But
there was
overall
other news that came out from that weekend. All the meetings was the John Lynch coming out and saying that Jimmy G is too good to be released. So Jimmy G is officially now the starter for the 49ers.
All of a sudden, Trey Lance is a wasted pick, sort of like Jordan Love.
Trey Lance is definitely not a wasted pick yet. Jordan Love, definitely a wasted pick.
Okay, well, I'm glad you finally admit to that.
Well, I admit to that. I've always admitted to that.
No.
But now there's value in what Jordan Love brings to the table. Now that he's a Packer, I don't think that they should trade him.
I think the most undervalued position in the NFL is backup quarterback. 100%.
You gotta
100%.
have him.
I think the Saints just landed a gem yesterday. The Saints signed Andy Dalton. It's a gem.
I mean,
if something happens to Jimmy Winston, I just call him Jimmy Winston again.
Jimmy Winston.
That's what fucking McAfee said it yesterday. Jameis Winston. If something happens to Jameis Winston, you have a capable guy to win games. Right.
I don't think he's capable, and I don't think they're going to win many.
Well, that's not true, because he definitely won games for the Cowboys when he was a backup quarterback when Dak went down. He won games, not a lot, but he won games
in a very, very bad division. I'm just saying, I don't think that Dalton's the man. I think that he's a very, very back end of the road backup quarterback.
Oh man, Scoop.
I'm not a believer in Andy Dalton.
Also, news from Scoop. Breaking news: McDaniel wears a wife beater. Did you see his see-through shirt? They made this cringeworthy coaches picture with all the NFL coaches, right? And like, obviously the sun is shining a certain way. They take the picture. You just see this guy. He's in like a short sleeve, like Hawaiian shirt, but it's like white and it's see-through, and you just see his beater.
I also had I'm like, McDaniel. It took me about a minute to process.
Dolphins
guy.
Who
the fuck you were talking about? I got it now,
okay.
But
yeah. So the only coach not there, by the way,
for a
was Mike McCarthy. So that was the Cowboys news of the day, is that Mike McCarthy decided not to go to the coaches meeting because he's at the draft. He's prepping there because we haven't filled enough holes as a team. So he has to make sure he gets the draft absolutely right. Oh boy.
Pretty sure he was at fucking Burger King, bro.
He might have been. He might have been. It might have got a Whopper, maybe double Whopper with cheese. Good. I don't know. What?
That sounds good.
It does sound good. Yeah, it does sound good. Not to me, because I don't eat meat, but just in general. In general, just food right now. Yes, consumption. Anyway, so before we get into what we wanted, actually, you know what? No, there's one more thing I needed to get to, and that was with Jim Irsay. That drunk son of a bitch. Let me tell you something. Jim Irsay is a legend. He says the things that people aren't supposed to say, but he went out and said it anyway. So he had an interview with The Athletic, I believe yesterday or today.
I believe the word you're looking for is an alcoholic. Jim Irsay is an alcoholic. He's not a legend, all right? He's definitely hammered 90% of the time. And you put a camera in front of Jim Irsay's face, and he's going to say
who's worse, him or Jerry?
Oh, God. Well, Jerry's just senile. He's 100.
He's turning 80.
He looks like he's 110.
He's got a brain like a 24-year-old, though.
Oh, there it is. But yeah, man, he's an alcoholic. That's
okay.
That's
so
what
Jim Irsay's a boozer and he needs help, but he goes out there yesterday and says that signing Carson Wentz was an absolute quote mistake, right? And they moved on from said mistake immediately so they could fix the problem. Yikes, right? Because now Commander Carson is over.
Did you hear the part of the interview where they were like, wait, who are you talking about? And he was like, oh, Carson Wentz. Right. They didn't actually say that, but bro, that's exactly what he meant to say.
And then on top of that, he's talking about the shortcomings of Carson Wentz last year when they have to end the season by beating the Jaguars. And he says, and this is the age-old thing, right? The quote before everything else, no offense to Jacksonville, which means the hook is coming. The right hook is coming. He goes, no offense to Jacksonville, but they're the worst team in the league. So for him to say that, and I know by standings, yes, they got the first pick in the draft.
Show me the lie.
Yeah, I was going to say no lies told in that moment, but for him to go out and say something like that was very drunk of him. It's for him to say, do you think he was drunk in the interview?
Yes.
Okay. That's
absolutely do.
Crazy. Oh boy. So if there was an opportunity to toss Putin or Wentz off a cliff, bye Wentz. Jesus Christ. That's rough. Yeah, all right, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's talking shit about Mike McCarthy.
Guess who the Colts play this year too at home?
If you say the Jaguars, I'm going to smack you.
No, the bump. Commander Carson's coming back to play there in
I love the Commander
in Indianapolis. So
yeah, was that the Commander Carson theme song, by the way?
No, you haven't. You didn't know that's they're trying to get that off the ground as their theme for the Commanders. Bump, Commanders. It's Allstate or whatever it is.
Yeah, what the?
No, they've been trying since day one to do that.
Such a poverty franchise.
Bleacher Report just released their free agent class grades, not draft. Free agent class grades for
Here we go.
Off season.
Here we go. So you want to just roll off them just to say it?
No. I just want to say the Bills got an A. I'm just naming a couple.
The Bills got an A because they got a fucking rule changed. How's that for a fucking off season?
Through the ones that were really good. Just keep talking. Cowboys got an A.
What?
I disagree.
Did they write it?
What?
How?
The Browns.
All right, relax over there,
the
Dina.
Browns got a D.
Did you land Devontae Adams? I don't think so. Dina's strutting.
How
over
did
there.
they give the Browns a D and the Cowboys an A?
Yeah, the Browns got the guy the Cowboys got rid of, and the Cowboys got an A.
Bleacher Report.
No, I kind of like Bleacher. No, I like Bleacher Report.
No,
I love them now. Actually,
I like Bleacher
They're
Report
my
because
favorite publication.
It streamlines and I get updates. But Bleacher Report's writing and the people that
now you're talking about Pro Football Focus. You're talking about Pro Football Talk.
They're
garbage.
I'm talking about Bleacher Report.
Did the Raiders get an A?
The Raiders got it. Should have gotten an A+, right? I mean,
the Raiders.
About,
I didn't get down to the L's yet. The Packers got an F.
No, he's talking about Las Vegas.
Packers got a D.
It was you laughing.
D+. Packers got a D+.
Report. I got a D+. What is that?
Anyway, they haven't signed anybody. So fuck Bleacher Report. We're gonna move past that.
I love Bleacher Report. Thanks for the A.
Unreal.
Wait, Kyle coming in. I can honestly agree with an A for the Cowboys. The fact that they kept Lawrence was really good work. I thought for sure him and Cooper were both gone. And listen, I put it out there real early in the universe. I said, this is going to be a great offseason when the Cowboys don't lose any of them. And all the writers already wrote them off. And they lost one of them, which, whatever, it was a trade. But the fact that they kept DeMarcus Lawrence, cut their costs, and now they're supplementing all their losses with a couple other picks. Listen, what they've done to replace Gregory, not that great yet. I'm not going to say it played out. Why are you looking at me like, what? Am I just backing them up too much?
Yes.
All right. Staying on football. Let's do that.
Cowboys don't deserve an A. We all fucking know that.
No, but the Packers definitely deserve a D+.
I don't care what any of the media says because the Packers have been wrong. They've been wrong about the Packers in the media in the offseason for 3 straight years.
And AJ, I agree. If you want a real analysis, go to The Athletic. It's $1 a month if you want to go read The Athletic. They have some seriously good shit over there. James Rube's coming in. Packers and Chiefs won the trades, but you guys aren't ready for those takes. I mean,
I am.
He is. I know that. He is.
Ready.
I know exactly why you would say they won those takes. But look, you can't say that until the season plays out.
And you know who else agrees with that? Kyle. No doubt.
Yeah, because Kyle thinks that everybody should play on $0 spent. Because he thinks that the salary, just because the Cowboys screw this whole thing up, doesn't mean everybody else does.
He thinks that you can't spend $25 million annually on a wideout, and I think that the Packers have collectively come up with that fact.
I'm calling a 30-second timeout.
Go ahead.
Okay, because this is ridiculous. You're talking about Kyle saying that they can't win with that annual value of a receiver, correct?
25 mil, yeah.
Kyle's also saying the same guy who says in the same breath you can't pay the quarterback in the second contract. So by rule, Packers and the Chiefs will never win again.
Well,
ever, according to Kyle.
I mean, it's been pretty.
They
haven't. Has Aaron Rodgers won in his second contract?
No, he has not, or his third, or his fourth, or whatever the fuck they're doing with this guy. Look, and that's not true though. Again, I think the theory was
25 million a year for a wideout. None of them have ever won, and we're going to talk about some running backs in a little bit, right? And we're going to go through a few things that's going to. I think it's kind of telling about what skill positions to bring to the table. And
by the way, Chris Payne changed his YouTube graphic to his pissed off Payne logo. Just realizing this now. It's just awesome. Great feedback on that, by the way. Scoop said I'm canceling his Patreon to subscribe to the Athletic. Appreciate you. Actually, I don't even know which one he's at. Which one is he? So you're saving money. So look. You're in Kyle's logic. Save money wherever you can, right? I mean, I don't
even know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Okay, great. Like Scoop came in and said he's canceling his Patreon to go subscribe to the Athletic.
Deal.
Okay.
He also said he was going to buy a fucking lawnmower 4.0 and he didn't.
Oh, what a bastard! He's just waiting for you to give you his so he can just and then go use it.
You an Aquarius?
Not a drop.
If you know, you know. Anyway, move on.
Let's move on to the Fusco Insurance Agency, ladies and gentlemen. They are our brand new sponsor. We've partnered up with them. Very pumped about it. He offers personal, commercial lines, life and health insurance. They even help with retirement, employee benefit administration. If you need a benefits guy, if you're a brand new small business and you're like, gee golly. Did I just say that? Gee golly, I need a guy for benefits. Bang, Fusco's your guy. Also, tax season, right? We all got to file eventually. Some of us are getting money back. Some of us are going to probably run into traffic. But regardless, tax preparation service by Fusco, do that. Fusco Insurance Agency are the guys. If you have bad credit, guess what, Gooch? You can go and get the physically fit credit repair. I'm not saying you have bad credit.
I was just
I was just talking to you. I'm just having conversation. They offer exclusive plans for you, very affordable. And you're not going to lose any money. That's his promise to you. You will not lose any money unless you owe money to the IRS. Nothing you can do about that. But if you're looking for a blend of personal service and expertise, you've come to the right place. Offer a broad range of services, business owners, independent professionals. Their rates are affordable. He's very experienced. And of course, he's a good dude. He's in the comments. Introduce yourself. Go get to know all about Michael Fusco. And you can visit that FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. So go check him out as Dina has something for Lilac.
And if you hate LeBron James, he also does.
Yes, so. You can talk LeBron James hatred. You can do that too.
So. Or don't talk about LeBron at all with him because he banned him.
Yes, that's true. He doesn't want to do that either. So go ahead, Dina.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lilac and Sage Boutique is a veteran-owned LEO spouse-operated boutique based out of North Carolina. Their goal is to continue their service by providing affordable clothing to other hardworking women. They ship orders all over the world. Be sure to check them out at lilacsageboutique.com and join their mailing list so you don't miss out on any new arrivals. I hate you guys. Use the promo code JOB10 to receive 10% off your purchase.
Yeah. I'm going to piss out. Oh, fuck. I got lightheaded. I'm sorry.
I was trying not to read that. So
it's not on you. It's Payne. Oh, fuck. According to Chris Payne's Scoop, Home Depot is having a sale on 6x8 rugs. Oh, I love this. I love this fucking
Scoop
job.
Said I only need it for myself. My wife doesn't need it since we don't give her rights. Oh, good morning.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
What a
breaking
day.
news coming from Jimmy. 200 point. Is that his weight? 200.8? Is he at the 200 mark?
You fat fuck.
Yeah, he's such a fat bastard.
He keeps putting random numbers in the chat. So
oh my God. I'm fucking dying.
Man.
Dude.
All right. Sports.
Woo,
what do we got here?
back? We got back. Oh, Mo, actually, before we do that, one more. Steve Aspara, because I know he's bitching and whining that we're not talking about him enough. I'm kidding. SteveAspara.com for all your web-based services. So I saw Mike DeCrosta, one of our old former, well, he's still a friend, obviously. Former sponsors of the Body Brown's Tanning Salon. He did inquire with Steve Aspara to possibly, I guess, make a website. So if you want to do that, do that by going over to steveaspar.com. His rates are very, very affordable. Very good dude. He's very honest. He'll let you know if your website sucks or not. He'll definitely tell you that. But definitely go in there and inquire with Steve. So Steve's a good guy. He's a partner of ours. And one of his memes yesterday or 2 days ago were fantastic, where he said, keep my sight in your fucking mouth. So that was hilarious. Oh, man, I'm all flustered now because that shit was hilarious. Anyway, so yesterday or a couple days ago, me and Gooch were sitting in the other office. We're just shooting the shit. We're getting our jobs done around here, right? And he came up with a list.
No. I came across a Facebook
post on this day. I see clearly.
Ago.
Sorry, I got to do it every time. You came up with a.
Still don't know what that is, by the way.
It's Edge's theme song. Remember Edge, the one guy you know in that match who you picked yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, which was, by the way, one of my favorite moments. You're like, come on, I know one of them. That was one of the funniest moments. So Jimmy's plugging radio show tonight, 101.5. Palumbo and Chop need to be under 200 by Friday's live show. All right, we'll stop eating then. Intermittent fasting. I'll teach you all about it. It's really good stuff. But anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, so you came up across a list in which you kind of dissected your own list, right? Of top 10 running backs he's ever seen play. Now, let's preface that because there's going to be a lot of like, well, what about Walter Payton? Like, we didn't see Walter Payton, so he's not going to make this list. In fact,
I saw Walter Payton, but I was way too young to really.
When did he retire?
87.
All right, so I saw him for 2 years as an infant.
No,
I didn't see him.
So yeah, I watched one game where Walter Payton it was like a Monday night game, and they scored 56 on the Packers, and that was the first Packer game I
think they blew out the Cowboys too in like 91.
But yeah, I was 4, and I don't even barely remember it. I just remember it.
So you put out this list. It's people that you've seen. So that's, like I said, preface it by that. So like when people come across this list and they're like, what the hell? Where's Gale Sayers? You know what I mean? Like all these guys that we didn't see play, of course they're top.
Well, no, let's just look. It's 1990 on. So
that's
if
fine.
You were drafted in the late 80s and you had the bulk of your success in the 90s, then you're on this list. Or you qualified to make this list.
Now remember, it's not even a list because today we're going to draft them. So basically our top 10 list is going to be a draft. So once I pick one or he picks one first, whoever's first will pick one, and then we'll go. And once that guy's picked, obviously he's gone, right? So we're going to come up with a collective top 10 list. Now, if you don't agree with this list, I'm
not even going to agree with it because you might pick a guy that's
we'll
even
debate
in
my
my
top
top 10. And
we'll debate it after. That's fine. But if you don't agree and you got somebody better, please feel free to call in after the list is done. All right. The link is literally, I think it's in the bio. I hope. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So it's in the comments. It's in the bio. It's in all that. So come and debate us. So who's got a coin? Rob, you got a coin over there?
Yep.
All right. We're flipping a coin to see who goes first. I'll call it. Can I do that at least?
Fine.
All right. I'll call it. Wait, hold on.
That you're calling.
So basically, first pick will be, or whoever wins the toss, and then we'll go vice versa. So Rob, hit it up.
In the air?
Tails never fails.
Failed this time there, buddy.
What?
Heads it is.
Is it really?
It's heads, bro.
All right. Well, so much for this. So we're not going to do this list anymore.
No. Bro, I'm gonna actually force your hand here. I'll defer because I know that I'm gonna end up. I know who you're picking.
Oh, you just think you know me like that, huh? You just think
you better. Talked a lot of shit. You better.
Is it going to be Tim Hardaway?
That's funny, but no.
That's funny.
Dave picks Emmitt Smith. You have to, right? So we already know that our list is flawed.
The number one running back of all time. And that's Emmitt Smith, okay? Emmitt Smith is the number one running back of all time. Why is that, Dave? Why would he be the best running back ever? I'll tell you why. Because he leads the league in all-time rushing yards, right? Most successful running back, 3-time Super Bowl winner. What? Are we not? Is he not? What?
Just keep talking.
I just, you're killing me here.
Going.
Like, you're telling me not to go to the comments. I
didn't say anything. First of all, you know what? If it was you in this situation, I would be in the middle of talking about Emmitt Smith, and you would be like, Payne said fucking, and I would be in the middle of my comment, and you would just,
all right, you son of a bitch. Hold on 1 second now. Emmitt Smith, number one, all-time leading rusher. Everybody gets on this theory of, oh, well, he had a great offensive line. The offensive lines built back then in the early 90s, most of them were similar, okay? And we didn't have any Pro Bowlers, all pros. One Hall of Famer, one, Larry Allen. That's it. So if this is all this dominant Great Wall in Dallas, they're not all They were good. They were very good at the time, but that's bullshit. Like, I think that Emmitt Smith is one of the grittiest runners of all time until the very end of his career. And then, of course, he started going east and west way too much, wound up with the Cardinals and sucked.
Yeah, when he stopped playing with a good offensive line. That's exactly when he started going east and west too much. Also, it's the tail end of his career. I understand that. But this is a very, very this is breaking news, guys. Emmitt Smith didn't have a great offensive line. That's one of Dave's takes.
No. I said we had one Hall of Famer on it. That's all I said.
Dallas Cowboys offensive line is one of the, if not the best offensive line in history.
Why aren't they all Hall of Famers?
I don't care what.
It's weird.
All right, I don't know. I guess they sucked.
Thank you.
But no, come on. My pick is clearly Barry Sanders. I'm not here to bash Emmitt Smith, but we all know
number
it's
two,
consensus.
Barry Sanders.
Everybody knows it's consensus. Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith played in the same era, and I don't think there was even one person outside of Dallas or New Jersey with all the Dallas fans here that actually believed that Emmitt Smith was better than Barry Sanders, and this is while they were both playing at the same time. Barry Sanders did a lot more with a lot less. Not a lot more. He did
he had
much,
some shitty
if not
teams.
more,
he had some shitty
with
teams.
a lot less. And he did beat Dallas in the playoffs. That's his only
91, first of all, right before we went on our dynasty
win in history is against Emmitt Smith ran Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, Emmitt was in his second year.
That's just a dig. That guy has nothing to do with why he's better.
No, but what I will say is this:
Barry
I believe
Sanders is better because of.
Oh, you because of the following.
Because of the following, he had in only 153 starts, 15,269 yards. He averaged 8 more yards per carry behind a far worse offensive line. 0.8 more yards per carry.
Now, okay,
0.8, 5 yards a carry.
Great stat. But I will ask you and raise you this. I believe it was said on Twitter, which you can follow Chris on Twitter because this actually made it to Twitter first last week. Somebody said, and I forget who it was. It might have even been Bailey. I don't know. Somebody chimed in.
Oh, I know exactly.
And said that why wasn't he used in like the big crunch time situations?
Who?
Barry Sanders.
Because Wayne Fontes was a bad coach, I guess. I don't know. You know, like if you have Barry Sanders and you're not using him in crunch time situations, I'm going to say that you're not using him right in crunch time situations. I don't believe for one split second that Barry Sanders couldn't get it done in short yardage.
Now, Kyle Kerm's coming in saying Barry Sanders' cool highlights made the team way worse.
I'm going to go so hard on him now.
Be careful.
Kyle,
tread lightly.
So hold on. So you're trying to say, Kyle, that Barry Sanders had name another player in that team? Scott Mitchell? Can you name another one?
Herman Moore was a stud.
Are you kidding? But we're talking about Barry Sanders.
But that team was made by Barry.
That team was terrible. What were they supposed to do? And the guy wanted to leave, and they wouldn't even let him leave. The first player for every year to rush for 1,000, first 10 years, 1,000 yards. Nope, not Jim Brown, not Marcus Allen, not Gale Sayers, nobody else. Barry Sanders did it.
In a bad team.
In a terrible team. And he had to leave. He literally had to leave because they wouldn't even help him.
So
he couldn't pull what players are pulling now, where they retire and then come back on another team.
Barry Sanders, basically. I think, is consensus, and I don't think it's much of an argument. I'm not arguing your spot. You can make interesting cases here and there about Emmitt Smith and saying like Jerry Rice gets all the accolades and the credit because he's the guy that has the most stats. But Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith, the separation between 1 and 2 with Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith, Bobby, is very, very big. Jerry Rice, you could take the second at all time in any statistical category at receiving and make a subtraction, and the difference, there's typically a guy in the Hall of Fame with the difference of those numbers. You can't do that with any other position. It's just absurd.
Now,
I also believe Jerry Rice was kind of a compiler, but we're not going to really get into that. We
can't go there because Kyle has a book that's coming out next fall about how Jerry Rice was overrated. But I will say this, Dina, part of your job as producer is to bring up good comments, and you just brought up the worst comment of all time coming from Bobby Erbsis. Herman Moore greater than Michael Irvin. Get off. Just stop it right now, please stop. Herman Moore's that dude. Don't get me wrong.
Daniel Grasso also makes an amazing point.
What?
Against the Lions, defenses had 10 in the box every single game. So he was the only threat, really. I mean, they did have a decent passing
Well, if that's the case, then Herman Moore's stats will be through the roof if he's one-on-one the entire time.
They were.
You want to talk about
Herman
compiler?
Moore had some good numbers. Shit. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, okay, Payne, shut up. Just shut up. Anyway, my number 3 overall pick is LaDainian Tomlinson. Okay, 6 years in a row. What?
He's all the way down.
Sorry, 6 years in a row with 1,300 yards. Okay, he tailed it with the Jets. He kind of tailed off with the Jets. The Jets run wasn't that good. But bro, in 2006, 28 touchdowns, my man. 28 like that's not touched. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it was, but you know what I'm saying? Like 28 touchdown. And you know, Tomlinson, a stud of a running back. a decent team to play for the entire time. But I will say that he now currently sucks as an analyst.
So
I'm not a fan
I will
of it.
say that my plan is backfired because I gave you the first pick to try and force your hand, knowing that you'd pick Emmitt Smith, and I was assuming that maybe this might play out where it lined up better for me. I should have just taken Barry Sanders and then LaDainian Tomlinson because I agree with you.
See what happens when you defer the coin toss? It's
Yeah,
going to
I
happen
guess-
all the time in overtime and playoffs.
I don't agree. I don't know. Maybe Kyle made a good point before, but fuck that. We'll talk about the running backs again. LaDainian Tomlinson, I agree. We're in consensus here. I actually put him second. Or maybe third, but I have somebody else that I'd put second.
All right, so who's fourth?
I'll get into my 10 after that.
Well, who's fourth?
Fourth,
Your pick.
now I'm going out on a limb here.
Uh-oh.
This isn't necessarily
Limbs.
who I think is fourth, but this is like a draft strategy.
No. Well,
I'm trying to build a better team than you.
Let's preface it by this: are any of the guys ahead of him? Is he better than any of those guys? Like right now, you've seen Tomlinson, Barry, and Emmett.
I put the guy that I'm about to pick.
Fourth overall.
I put him fourth overall, but ahead of Emmitt Smith, who I have fifth.
Go ahead.
All right,
Who is
so it's Adrian Peterson because
all
obviously
day.
everybody
Well-
knew who it was going to be because the graphic got fucked up before.
Oh.
So it was like, but I also, it kills me to pick Adrian Peterson because he's on the Vikings and he beats his kids.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
just
like,
beats his kids.
it's a
I'm not a
tough
big
one
fan
here,
of that.
but
at
I'm
all.
going to have to make the exception here and just like the rest of the league and brush that under the rug and welcome AP to my squad because Adrian
All right,
Peterson,
you can have it.
one of the greatest talents to ever do it, and just a beast, impossible to tackle. The numbers speak for themselves, and the way he's still doing
and
it.
longevity,
The
right?
longevity is still
has to
doing
be
it.
a factor. He's definitely up there.
And
I
by
have no
say still
disagreements
doing
with
it,
that.
he did just like get into a fight with his wife on a plane, so he's still having domestic.
He's still having domestic,
but
problems.
very good football player.
You only see so many generational talents, especially at that position.
Become
and,
domestic
you just
offenders?
well, that too. And you just kind of, this guy has been it, right? His whole career. It's
Yeah.
he's never missed.
He's played for every team in the NFL now,
You know,
which
and
is
he still
kind of hurts the
brings it,
legacy
too,
a little
so.
bit, but
Yeah,
whatever.
but-
All right, so AP at 4. All right, so number 5 for me, my pick, my go. I'm going 90s. I know there's a lot of guys probably in the modern game that are a little bit better. Maybe at the end of the day they will be, but I'm going Curtis, my favorite Martin.
There you go.
Give me Curtis Martin, the all-time leading rusher for the New York Jets. I believe. I can't imagine anybody's got that. I just made that up. That's got to be a real
Yeah,
thing,
he
though.
is.
Gritty 90s runner, 11-year career. You don't see that a lot anymore. You know, these longer careers, except for the guy you just mentioned. Adrian Peterson's been playing for 40 years. But whatchamacallit? So check this out. In the second to last year, like right before it was all over, he rushed for 1,700 yards. So like this kid or the guy absolutely tore it up. He stayed with the Jets the entire go round after getting drafted by New England. He's a 4-time All-Pro. Just give me Curtis, my favorite Martin in this spot right here. Any disagreements there?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I think Curtis Martin's in the top 10, but I don't put him here. He was very consistent, but there's just guys that were way more dynamic that I would take over Curtis Martin.
So why don't you do that then?
Consistent and well, I'm actually pissed off because looking at the way you picked, there's a chance that I could have had my top 5, all of them except Emmett, and I would have had another guy that is almost as good as Emmett. So I fucked up by deferring, man. I should have just taken Barry.
Gucci
But
has won the toss. Has
I
elected to
lost.
defer.
I lost. I'm not picking Curtis Martin here. I put Curtis Martin around 9. But who do I pick here? Marshall Faulk, Derrick Henry. That's it.
Derrick
And this
Henry.
is actually the
Who
risk
do
that
I
I took.
pick? Well, we're
Because
about
I
to
don't have
find
my
the
list
fuck out.
in front of me, and
This is why we got to get a printer.
we didn't. I don't know if the graphics are in order, so I'm like,
I
fuck.
did the best I could with the order, and I
The
think
only one that's out of order was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well,
Okay.
I didn't know that she even knew the order because you don't know my order, and I don't know yours. So
I
it's
put
like,
mine in there,
it's
and I figured
hard.
the other
We
ones.
didn't think this through.
We didn't think this.
We
through
didn't
at all.
think this through. But
So it happens. Live television, ladies and gentlemen.
King
We also
Henry
didn't
is the
discuss
only
it with
guy
me.
I think
That's how
active
it
that
was
makes the top 10. King Henry's the only one that could sniff the top 10 that's active, besides maybe Adrian Peterson, if you consider him. He's still playing, right?
AP.
AP?
I mean, after the more domestic stuff, I don't know, but
No, I think he'll. it's the
no,
NFL,
but
Dave.
honestly,
He'll be back.
King Henry is revolutionizing the position of running back lately, just based off the fact that strength now wins. You know, he's literally built like a brick shit house, and nobody can
And
take him
he's
down one on one.
He's scoring 80-yard touchdowns as well. It's not like he doesn't. Have
Right, it's not like he doesn't have the wind.
A guy that size, he's running like the wind.
I'm with it.
Running like the wind.
King Henry is definitely belongs on this list.
And it's blowing my mind that a guy that I think is in the top 2
You're out of your mind. I know. I think I have a feeling, and I'm not going to take him here because I'm going to take another outside the box thing because I'm going early 90s after King Henry. I'm going Thurman Thomas here with the 7th overall pick in the top 10. Now, I know, look, you can tell me all about the whole, losing multiple Super Bowls in a row. You can talk to me about fumbling in the Super Bowl, but you will not talk to me about the fact that this guy was a 13-year runner. Okay, so he's played in a long time. 5-time All-Pro, first and second team, little mix. All-Pro is way better, by the way, than Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is a popularity contest. All-Pro, you got to literally be elected to it. 1991, this was a stat that I kind of pulled out of my ass because I really, just to give you a better diversity of who he was, caught 61 balls out of the backfield in a time where running backs weren't catching a lot of balls. So Thurman Thomas is my guy on this one because, again, success aside, the whole losing Super Bowls aside, Thurman Thomas is the guy. And you will never see another running back with the single bar down the center. Never. That's an old school look.
And nor should you. That was terrible.
I mean,
also the 91 MVP.
Yes.
And like you said, with the receiving yards, career 4,500 receiving yards as a running back.
As a running back, that's unheard of in that time. Now, all running backs can do all things. So,
So, I mean, clearly the one that's being overlooked here and is the best all-purpose back, I believe, in NFL history.
I know where you're going with this. I hate him.
Marshall.
Nah,
and this is where my strategy kind of paid off because I know you don't like Marshall Faulk. I let him go all this way. And that's why I almost fumbled over my words before, because I was like, how did I pick King Henry over Faulk? I don't believe this for one split second. This was solely based on draft strategy. It is baseball draft season, so I'm getting into my mode right now. All right. I did fuck up with the Emmett thing. I should have Barry. I should have King Henry. I should have LaDainian Tomlinson. I should have Marshall Faulk. And I'm not going to get who else I should, but I should have those 4 right now.
You should.
I
but
fucked
you won't.
up. But there's no way in any earth on this one, that one, or 80s, 90s, 1920 that Marshall Faulk is a worse player than Thurman Thomas or any of the guys that were listed after Barry Sanders. Marshall Faulk, I believe, is the second best back. In
terrible analyst, by the way. Just awful.
Bro, what are we talking about
Hates
here?
the Cowboys.
Marshall Faulk got over 12,000 rushing yards and almost 7,000 receiving yards. You understand that? Right? Now
I can comprehend it. Yeah, sure.
The dude was a touchdown machine. He's got a Super Bowl. He's got an MVP award. He was the real reason, not Kurt Warner, behind all those greatest shows on turf. Let's be real about this one.
How good was that movie, by the way?
Marshall Faulk was the catalyst behind that.
I wonder who played Marshall Faulk in that movie because we saw what Ray Lewis looked like.
Who played that whiny bitch of a head coach?
Dick Vermeil?
You guys watched it?
No. This is a couple weeks back. We found this picture. It was hilarious.
I have a hard time watching any sports movies.
That
Yeah,
like
they're
are
like
true.
that.
He doesn't like
Like
to
that.
enjoy life at all. He just
No, sports movies that are good that I need to, but some of these
What's
movies,
today?
man,
This
they're so
is-
fucking corny.
We're almost in April. All right, I'm about to start firing up draft day again. But go ahead.
Again.
Yes,
That's the other thing.
again.
Definitely don't watch them 30 times.
It's draft season, baby. Come on. Anyway, speaking of your draft, so you go with Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk.
I'm going with an unsung hero here. I'm going with a guy that definitely should not be here. I think you should even move him up a couple spots.
This is
Again,
the guy that I should have instead of.
Oh, you
instead
just
of-
think
yeah.
you know?
No, because right now, if you didn't pick here, everyone would get bumped. You would have Emmett second, and this is where I'd be picking. I would be picking him as my last pick because you would have no choice.
I'm picking Edrin James. Okay, Edrin James revolutionized the Colts running game after Marshall Faulk left. By the way, shout out to the Colts. I know Jim Irsay is a drunk, but like their running back situation was pretty good for a while. It went from
there's
Marshall
all
Faulk to
skill
edge.
positions. They had Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne.
1,500 yards his rookie season. What?
Somebody out there like saying hello and whistling.
Oh yeah, go check it out. Bring him on air. Let's go. What time is it? 11:54.
I don't know about that.
I'm not bringing him on
I
air.
don't
But...
even know who it is.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás? No. All right. Anyway. So 1,500 rookie year. And then people say, well, the sophomore slump's coming. Second year, Edrin James rushes for 1,700 yards. So he one-ups himself. Do you actually remember him finishing in Seattle?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
That like when I read, I'm like, oh
He
shit.
was a
You know, like,
Cardinal. He was a Seahawk.
I know the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. But I'm saying that the Seahawks. I was like, wait, what? Anybody of note? The printer's here. All right, word. So speaking of printers, we got one of those too. So yeah, Edrin James is my ninth overall pick, and you now close the list with
Priest Holmes.
there it is, Priest Holmes. So a guy that I want to say he didn't have a good career. I want to say there was a span where he was just absolutely electric.
Priest Holmes. Do I have him on my list?
He's on there from 01 to 03. He had were like his best seasons.
Yeah, so I'm saying a couple years were a couple good years. Priest Holmes was one of the best running backs in football for a little while.
So in 01, he had over 1,500 yards. 02, 1,600 yards. 03, 1,400 yards. And in the 3 years, Chris, what we say, it was like 56 touchdowns.
56 touchdowns over 3 seasons.
Scored a lot of points.
Now, as much as I make fun of Dick Vermeil and his whiny, crying ways on a football field, which I just could never stand the look on his face, Dick Vermeil's, just something about him just gives me a cringe.
The heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, and but he knew how to feed the running back position because Marshall Faulk and Priest Holmes had some of the best seasons in history with Dick Vermeil as the head coach. So
Vermeil coached the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
When the fuck was that?
He was the guy. And then even look at what Larry Johnson did when Priest Holmes left.
I remember Larry Johnson.
91 to
That was
Yeah,
great.
you don't
I think
remember
that
they,
was,
they went 9-0. That was
Marty Schottenheimer.
no,
He was
no,
the
no,
Chargers.
that
Never
was
mind.
right. Yeah, Marty
My
Schottenheimer was
fault.
the Chiefs earlier, but definitely Dick Vermeil. They were 9-0 the one season. They had Priest Holmes. They a great offensive line, and they had Dante Hall. Dante Hall,
Yeah,
shout out
The
Dante
original
Hall.
X-Man.
One of the
The original guy used to throw up the
Joystick.
X.
the human joystick. But Priest
Yeah.
Holmes, this is like I don't put Priest Holmes higher than some of the guys. There's some Hall of Famers that we left off this top 10.
Well,
So
here's some
Priest Holmes-
honorable mentions
Priest
brought
Holmes
to you
is just
by Absolute
it's
Eyewear.
it's for me. Priest Holmes makes my team because he could do it all.
Well, that's the 10.
And he was down with being a backup because just a fun fact about Priest Holmes is he was a Ricky Williams backup at Texas when he should have been the man. And he was also Jamal Lewis backup in Baltimore and won a Super Bowl there. So he's
Good.
okay sitting the
Just
bench.
fun
behind
facts
all these
brought
other
to you
guys.
by Absolute Eyewear.
Yeah.
But anyway, Absolute Eyewear is about to supplement. The supplement draft is about to happen right now. Who else we got here? Sean Alexander. His big claim to fame is that he made the cover of Madden and then fell off the face of the earth.
Well, he fell off the face of the earth after rushing for as many yards as he did. I don't have it here because he's honorable mention, and I didn't think he would get picked. But I also didn't think I would end up picking Priest Holmes, but I kind of did, so I didn't put his list down, his numbers down either.
All right.
But Sean Alexander, if you just want to see some crazy shit, look up his high school numbers, bro.
It's high school.
No, 57 touchdowns this
Oh,
season.
well,
It's like
I mean,
it's high school.
You're
He
feeding
did-
this man.
He
so-
did just insane things like Derrick Henry style. He just dominated at that level. Went to Alabama and dominated at that level, and then Sean Alexander, one of the best to do it in that era, and he was just a fantasy stud for like 4 years.
Who else we got in this supplemental draft here? Tyrell Davis, TD.
I fucking hate Tyrell Davis.
I don't like Tyrell Davis either. But he's there. He belongs there. He's a product of a really good Broncos team who really like to run the football. And we know for a fact that Shanahan, the original Shanahan, loved his running backs. Loved them. He had them all throughout his career. Always had good running backs in Denver. Tyrell Davis was kind of the start of that.
See, it was kind of strange to me what they did after the Tyrell Davis thing. They just went by like a committee. They were one of the first teams in the league to go with the running back by committee when they had, I think it was like Carell Buckhalter. What's he?
Oh my God.
Was he Olandis Gary?
Wow.
They had some weird running backs that just ran well in Denver with that zone blocking scheme.
And they still do it
And
to
I
this day.
think after Tyrell Davis, Denver was just one of those teams that they were like, nope, we're not paying a running back. We're going to just do this a different way. And they set a trend in the league. But Tyrell Davis, they did have a bunch of good backs. He was a great back. for
Chris
sure.
Payne coming in
But
with a
fuck him
stat.
because he beat us in the Super
96
Bowl.
to 98, 48 touchdowns, 5,000
Yeah.
yards for
Yeah.
Tyrell Davis.
So that's just
The
a
whole mile,
slightly
I saw
worse.
it.
I would say a slightly worse 3-year stretch than what Priest Holmes did. And that Tyrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame. It's solely due to the fact that they won titles. I
Well,
believe.
no, he's got an MVP in 1998. He only played 7 years,
That's what I'm
77
saying.
games.
He didn't have a great run, but he did. He had a great run, but he didn't have a long career.
Yes.
Which I think in the NFL, running backs get looked at very different in terms of longevity. Gale Sayers played 6 years, Hall of Famer. So, I'm not sitting here and saying Tyrell Davis.
now
wasn't
you're
an
not
all-time
going to
great.
see that anymore.
No,
You're not going to see that anymore.
Which I think Tyrell Davis is the last of the Mohicans when it comes to that. Am I allowed to say that now? Is it?
Sure can. Mohegans? Like the Mohegan Sun?
Yeah, but
You're talking about an
That
actual
would be
tribe?
one of the worst things we've said on the show.
I was going to say, I don't think you're getting canceled for that one, Gooch.
Mm-mm.
Let's think about it.
this is not a stroke. This is not a stroke.
Dude, before you
You're
have
gonna
me
have to
going.
preface everything.
Honorable mention coming from Bailey. Trent Richardson. Yikes. From downtown. Chris Payne coming in. Maurice Claret was with the Broncos under Shanahan. He got arrested for more ammunition. Taliban. Oh my God! Any more honorable mentions? I don't think. Oh, all right. Well, here's one I hated
There
because
should be a few more. I didn't know who we were
There's
going
a
to
fine.
pick, so I put a bunch.
that's fine. So, This is a good one. I hated him in Philly, and then I hated him with the Niners because he beat up on Dallas multiple times. Ricky Waters was that dude back in the 90s. I liked Ricky Waters. Also a cast member of Any Given Sunday. He's in that movie.
One of the greatest all-purpose backs of the last 40 years. Ricky Waters, he was tall. He looks like Eric Dickerson on the field. He wasn't as good of a runner, but I think he was just a great pass catcher, complete all-around back. Really good. Really good. Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, Kyle Kerm's coming. Oh my God! What you do control the graphics at this point, don't you? Dorsey Levens.
Throw my boy Dorsey Levens in there.
No, you don't.
No,
you don't have to bring him in there.
Super Bowl champ.
I don't give a shit.
Amon Green was better than Dorsey Levens.
Amon Green was better, and so is Fred Taylor. So is Jamal Lewis. So is Felix
Chris
Jones.
Johnson.
Coming from Kyle. Felix Jones, who, by the way, his 1-2 punch with Marion Barber, that could have been.
I almost put Najee Davenport in there, but I felt like Dorsey Levens was a little bit
Who's the guy? You're a Packer guy. Who's the guy, maybe in the year 2007 or 6, bowling ball of a running back, Packer, cost me my fantasy championship, and he played for just a little bit.
Ryan Grant?
No, Grant was on my team.
He was
actually.
a Jersey guy.
No, oh God damn it!
Alum.
Sam Congatto.
Sam Congatto totally just ruined my life one year. But yeah, to put Dorsey Levens on this list is borderline disrespectful to all the rest of the running backs on this list. I don't even think there's any
other
more
guys. Like when they start thinking about names, like a Chris Warren.
How about
remember
this guy?
how good he was under the radar? Who?
Eddie George.
Eddie George.
Eddie
Hall
George.
Of Famer.
Love him.
Hall of Famer.
Eddie George is a Hall of Famer.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I don't think so.
Not, I'd be. I don't know.
I saw pictures of him when I was doing
Sorry, Eddie.
In the gold jacket?
In the gold jacket. Maybe he's an Ohio State Hall of Famer.
Oh my God.
Well, that for sure.
Anyway,
he made the Ohio State Hall of Fame.
Another
Eddie
Madden
George is
cover
most
boy.
famous for being Ray Lewis's nemesis. Have you seen that documentary on whatever it is, the NFL version?
Here's a good one.
For 30. Is Eddie George a Hall of Famer? Am I fucking?
He's not.
God damn it, me.
God damn it, me.
He was
Steven Jackson.
He was a semifinalist. He's for this year though, so he might be going to next year.
Wait, no. If he, I don't know. Probably not.
He is a Hall of Famer. Scoop said, "Motherfucker."
No, he's not. This was December 2nd, 2021.
If you're playing,
it was updated and posted again since George
Oh,
was.
no. He's like, this is why you got to be careful in the comments, folks. You will get roasted.
Sabotage.
That was absolute
I almost
sabotage.
bragged for the second time about being wrong.
So, let me tell you about Steven Jackson. He's also on this honorable mention list. He had, I don't know, 1-2 good years. So I don't know why he's even
what?
Steven Jackson.
Are you good?
I'm good. Are you good? You also said Eddie George was a Hall of Famer.
Check Steven Jackson's numbers and then tell me if he's not. He's had 2 good seasons.
Steven
played a long
Jackson time. Football.
I'm gonna play that
numbers.
Something.
He did.
Pro Football Reference right now. Steven Jackson stats. Let's see.
We could also talk about.
Are you
I don't
sure?
Think we have a graphic
Are you well?
But
he's got 11,000 yards, 69 touchdowns. His last.
He's got 11,000 yards and he had 2 good seasons.
All right, so he had 1,000-yard seasons aren't what they used to be.
Sounds like 10 good seasons.
No, it sounds like 1,000 yards aren't what they used to be.
But you know what it used to be? 11,000 of them. All right.
His best year was 2009 with the Rams, 1,400 yards. Actually, no, I'm lying. 1,500 yards in 2006. Okay, so he had a decent career. Okay, he at least deserves to be an honorable mention, which he is.
5,000 yards one season and 5,000 yards the next.
Scoop
season.
coming in, Clinton Portis. But here's one for longevity purposes. Frank Gore. He's been around forever.
Best known for getting his shit kicked in by Darren Williams last week. Right? That's unfortunate. No, Frank Gore is also best known for suffering only 1 concussion in 21 years, and it was like the last play he ever ran the ball on the Jets. Did you see that hit? At that point, I'm thinking like Frank.
And in that moment, you knew.
At that moment, you knew that he's
over.
about to start boxing.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
So there's running backs that is there any more?
Can I give you some Steven Jackson NFL records real quick?
Yes.
Wait a minute. What do you mean NFL records?
He's got NFL records.
Yes,
hold on, buddy.
Please, thank you.
Most consecutive season with 4+ rushing touchdowns, tied with Emmett.
Wait,
11.
I'm sorry. How many?
Most consecutive seasons with 4+.
4.
Tied with Emmett, though.
4+.
11 in a row. Hold on. Most consecutive.
Hold 4 touchdowns.
There's a lot of good ones.
NFL
Most
record.
consecutive seasons with 40+ runs, 11. Most rushing attempts by a player without a 60-yard run, 2,000. Hold on. 2,764. Most consecutive touches without a fumble, 870. November 3rd, 2011 through the end of his career.
He never lost a fumble?
Never lost a fumble. 870.
My boy is secure.
Only player with 1,400 rushing yards and 800 receiving yards in a single season.
No None coming in. That's a great name, by the way. No, wait. Where'd he go? No None. Oh, Corey Dillon. Oh, my God. I got jokes for days about Corey Dillon. I liked Corey Dillon. Corey Dillon was a stud back, and that's my boy Slim and my boy Tim. That might even be one of those guys. I could do these stats all day. I'm a bum.
Chris Johnson's another guy.
Bailey wants to be a stat
Chris
guy.
Chris Johnson could kind of make the list.
Those stats.
Chris Johnson.
With their hard hat on, Bailey?
Does Tiki Barber
That's
make
great.
the list as a
Fuck
compiler, as an honorable mention?
Fuck
Yeah,
no.
Tiki?
most fumbles ever.
I like
probably.
Tiki Barber, the radio host, before I like Tiki Barber, the fucking running back. Get
Trying
out
to think of some other guys that had a little flash in the pants.
Work
success,
done.
like Le'Veon Bell.
AJ Basco, Benjamin Button could have had 11 consecutive 4 touchdowns.
How about
seasons.
Jerome
That was
Bettis?
the worst stat you could. And I know you pulled a lot of gems. That was terrible.
It was just like
He's
in
just
the, it
saying
was in the
records.
thing.
He said NFL records. There were
So
no
who
fumbles
keeps
is
that as
good.
a record?
I'll tell you what. You're telling
The
me
league.
that you're
It's dumb.
Steven Jackson, honorable mention or no?
Steven Jack, you said that. We
Yeah,
said,
but I know. But
sure.
like my point is, you said he had 2 good seasons, and you were like,
All right, I could backpedal that one, hurt my calves, but like outside of that, I'm not saying that fucking 4 touchdowns in a season consecutive is a record. So that means there's a record for 3, there's a record for 2.
How about Ricky Williams?
Had he not smoked his life away, he would have been fucking amazing.
He would have been amazing.
Had,
that
no,
day.
had he not smoked weed had the NFL not sucked at the time, Ricky Williams would have been amazing.
Remember how many draft picks
what
that
did-
Mike
what did he
Ditka gave
actually
up
do?
for
The
him?
whole- wasn't it like the whole
It
thing?
was like, I'll give you everything. Here, just take it all. I want Ricky. Like,
But you have to
what?
wear a dress on ESPN magazine.
This is true too. You got to wear a dress.
Wedding dress. not
Wedding
that.
dress.
They got married. Mike Ditka and Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams.
Mike Ditka and Ricky Williams are married, guys.
Never got divorced, so that's a fun fact for you people out there. Ooh, no None comes back. Marshawn Lynch.
No.
Is it just because like Marshawn Lynch to me falls in the Steven Jackson thing? Plenty of good seasons.
Marshawn Lynch
just never-
is a name that comes to mind. My brother made a post in the Facebook group yesterday about we all know what these guys have done on the field. What's the best off the field, off the court personality? And like names like Shaq were there.
Charles Barkley
Payton
was
Manning,
there.
Charles Barkley. I feel like Beast Mode makes that list. I think
does.
Mike Tyson makes the list. But anyway, yeah, Beast Mode. I would put him on honorable mention. He had playoff success.
Now we're saying running backs, right? And I saw a name pop up here, Mike Alstott.
I was just thinking about that.
We
in my
haven't
head.
talked about fullbacks ever. I mean, Moose Johnston was my guy, but like,
nor should we.
okay, wow.
Tony Richardson,
This is
right?
not-
What are we gonna
listen,
really do?
Nick Ralston, if you're watching,
Sam
which I know you
Gash,
do it
know what we
sometimes,
should do
we're not dissing the fullback
what we
position.
should
I
do-
love you.
What we should do with fullbacks is just go through like
Go
the
back
coolest,
to
the
'em.
coolest fullback.
The
names.
world needs fullbacks.
Sam Gash.
Tony
Like,
Richardson.
If you're a fullback and your name is Sam Gash, #1 draft pick. Pick me.
Who was the guy?
Right.
You know, you're a Jets guy. Wasn't there a big fullback that they had for a while?
Ironhead Hayward.
He was a running back.
He's 290.
He's a running back. So
Recently,
is Bettis. Where's Bettis fall on your list?
Not on it.
Okay. No Bettis.
Jerome Bettis, great player. I think he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
I
think he
Chris
was a-
Payne coming and saying, how'd you guys leave off Lamar Jackson? Pew, pew, pew. That was beautiful. I love it. Anyway, this was fun. This was fun. But listen, this is what happens. But listen, tomorrow, and I said, but listen about 15 times in a row. Here comes the coffee. It's in the veins.
Deuce McAllister.
Oh,
Such a fun back to have on your fantasy team at the time.
who else? It was Deuce and who else?
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush falls on nobody's list because of the shortness of his career, but he was a human
He was-
highlight reel.
Great player, just not
Great college player.
no, Reggie Bush had staying power in the league. He did it for a decent amount of time, and you
Is
look at his
there- I-
numbers, they're there, but they're not caliber of the guys we're talking about.
Scoop wants us to talk about Fred Taylor.
Underrated.
100% underrated. Shit teams, but whatever. I got to ask you one more question before we get out of here in regards to this. Now, you already said King Henry, right? And he's one of the guys that are playing right now that are active, that are good. Do you foresee any running backs in the NFL right now, legitimate, that could jump any of these guys in the next
Has to be
10 years?
It's going to be tough. Just looking at the young backs in the league right now, who
Like,
I
do you
think
feel
has a
you have a good
chance.
feeling about Jonathan Taylor?
I have a good feeling about.
Was that
Yeah,
too new?
I have a good feeling about Jonathan Taylor because he's on a team that is dedicated to paying their offensive linemen to stick around. So the Colts are going to have a good line for a while, and he's young. So injuries are the only concern there. I do believe that Najee Harris has a good chance because Pittsburgh's philosophy and his situation where he's young, they fed him a lot. But the wear and tear on a guy like that, a lot of carries real early in his career. I just want to know if the NFL is going to allow any of these guys at any point in their careers to accumulate stats the way they have. Derrick Henry is the only. It's very rare where you see a guy's like they don't have a backup that gets the ball at all, and when you do, guys tend to get hurt, which you saw with Derrick Henry. So
I don't think there's any more. There's no such thing now as a bell cow.
There is.
I guess Henry would be.
There is. Like if you look at the Steelers, they didn't give any other running backs the ball. But the thing is, you can't do that, sustain it over extended period.
Right, you're going to beat the shit out of your guy, and you're just not going to be able to. And
also, there's different needs when you come to like a running back situation. You have a guy that's good at picking up the blitz. You have a guy that's good at receiving, catching the ball out of the backfield, and then you have a guy that's good in between the tackles that might not be good at catching the ball. So all these things matter, and with the analytics the way they are nowadays, it's very specific with what they want on a specific play.
Nick Chubb doesn't get a shot, you don't think?
I think as long as Hunt is there, probably not.
I think him being I think what we've seen,
somebody's got to get shipped out of town.
What we've seen with
these
Nick
other
Chubb,
running backs.
I don't agree. I think you have a chance to have a 10-year career if you have another guy. And them being like Nick Chubb is the guy.
Yeah, but then he can't compile the stats that would be required to be on any of these lists.
But you can because he's still fucking second in the NFL in rushing with Kareem Hunt there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he just doesn't have to play every single play. You get what I'm getting at? Like you have a better chance at longevity if you have a guy that they could rely on other than you in big spots.
A lot of Fred Taylor slander coming in here. There's a hot take by Kyle. Fred Taylor overrated. That team was carried by tight end Kyle. Here's a story of a man named Brady. I like Kyle Brady. Terrible draft pick, but also heard Fred Taylor ran a weekly underground bird fight and murdered birds himself. He's the bird Mike Vick. Wow, this is just a lot of hot takes coming in from Fred Taylor. This might just be a personal battle right now between Scoop and Kyle, but this has been a fun one. These conversations happen from time to time because it's a slow time in the NFL, slow time in sports. I mean, obviously, yes, hot NBA down the stretch. Baseball's about to get going. We can't wait for that. Fantasy baseball, which we're going to talk tomorrow. So I'll talk to Toast today. He's our baseball expert along with Gooch, obviously.
Also, stay tuned tomorrow to find out if I can tackle Reggie Bush. There's a lot of banter going on throughout the last decade of my life, and I just thought of this topic now. What? I have several things that I think I could do in a pro sporting event right now. Well, maybe not now, but when I was 30, maybe not right now, but understanding like, what could you do? Could you gain 1 yard in an NFL game? Could you average 1 yard per carry over the course of a game?
I bet you $1 million.
Fall forward.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I was told no.
I always said that about quarterback sneaks. I'm like, just fall forward.
If Bobby Erbsis is in the chat, he'll appreciate this because this has been something that we've been debating since the dawn of time. And I am that old, guys. I am that old. The dawn of time. I could tackle Reggie Bush if he's not allowed to make a move. He has to run right at me. He's going right the fuck down. I might even put him on his back.
Jesus
How about that?
Christ. Oh, my God. Well, I guess we'll talk about that
this
eventually,
was when Reggie Bush was, like, really good. So,
all right. Well, I was going to say now, Reggie Bush now. Could you tackle Reggie Bush now? You now, Reggie Bush now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. I'm
not
chasing
Reggie,
him
listening,
down.
bro?
I'm not chasing him down. I'll beat up Tom Brady. I'd tackle Reggie Bush. I would.
Somebody is coming in saying LMAO, 0 shot. Reggie Bush is tearing your ACL on a juke. I don't know who you are.
You're on Facebook. You don't count.
You're on Facebook. You don't count. You have to.
You do count.
You do count. Go to you. It's YouTube. Go to YouTube and make that same comment so we know who you are. Ever heard of the Oklahoma drill? He'll steamroll you. Oh boy, I do remember that drill. Tim Biakabatuka. Remember that fucking name? I'd
tackle him too.
Oh boy. All right. Gooch is dominating another sport, ladies and gentlemen. There's some breaking news. So anyway, we want to thank you guys for joining us here today on the Chop Sports Daily. We return tomorrow and every weekday at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow, we're going to dive into the world of fantasy baseball because we have to, because the draft is on Sunday, apparently. So we got to make sure that's good to go. And of course, Friday.
Heated right now. These comments saying that he'd tear my ACL by a juke.
I mean,
I just said he's not allowed to juke.
Yeah, he has to run full bore
at me. And Oklahoma drill, I'm just going to get a little bit lower because I don't have to stay up. He does.
I don't know who that is, but now I'm very curious to know who that is. I should just go on.
I want to fucking
find out. Should I just go find out?
Get a hold of Reggie Bush and get him down to Mattawan.
I want to find out. I want to find out.
Someone get a hold of Reggie Bush and tell him to fucking take the trip to Mattawan so we could do a nutcracker. He'll beat me.
Damn it. I can't find it. I'm trying to find who it is. No comment there.
Anyway,
Chop Sports. No, this
or
is
you can
pivotal.
fucking
So
say who
close
you
to
are.
The end of the closing.
Oh, there it is.
We were so close.
Oh, you know who it is? It's your boy, Jorge. Jorge, shame on you, bro. Watch us on
Oh, it's
YouTube.
Jorge.
I know.
Jorge, go subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, what is up with
bro.
you? Subscribers up to 967, according to Payton.
So
That's
we're 33 away.
33.
Jorge, make it
Patrick
32.
Ewing. Patrick Ewing away from 1,000 goal. We're right there, mother effers. So help us out. Chop Sports. Let us grow for Sturch and Gooch and Rob and fucking Dina. I don't know why I threw the F in front of it, but she's here too. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Chop Sports Daily. See you guys tomorrow. Let's talk some baseball.
Definitely could tackle Reggie Bush.